So I'm over at the studio having a discussion about creating power with punches. So I want to talk about that so that you can, over time, add little things and refine various things to help you create a really strong striking, whether it's in punches or kicks, either one. So we know there are some obvious things that create power. But here's how I want you to look at it. If I stood in front of this target and I said, look, I want you, you can go as slow as you want, but I want you to be able to push him and create as much range away from you as possible. So you could create a good structure here, put it against here, get some good kinetic connection here, and you could, doing everything, you could push this thing back, perhaps, or whatever you can do, that's what you can do. So, here's how I view this. If I can do this without any acceleration, I should be able to do that with acceleration, except for the issues of damage to your hand. You know, if you have, you should be able to do it, but it would hurt your hand. So let's say with wraps or with a glove, if I can use all the little pieces of power that allow me to do this, then shouldn't I be able to knock this guy back that far with a regular punch? Oh yeah, thank you, Bob. I'll pay him later. Hold on a second. All right, so let's ask the question, what are the different things that create power here? Well, level one, everyone knows about rotation and extension. Extension is this. Okay, so I can make Bob go back that far just by extending my hand. So that's something. I can create that kind of impact. We also know about rotation. So if I rotate, then I can push him back that far. Okay? Now rotation is a tricky thing. If I actually rotate, that's about 50% forward and 50% back. So I don't really want to rotate like the earth rotates around the sun. Now this is in this position. That would look something like this. So I need to keep this shoulder relatively stable or even advancing in to make it more like a hinge. So it's more this than it is this, right? So if this shoulder is going back, then power is going back, okay? So, so rotating like a hinge, driving forward. Then again, what am I rotating? If I'm only rotating my shoulders, watch my hips now, they stay still. Okay, I've only got so much extension. Okay, if I rotate my hips and my shoulders, again, like a hinge, and I allow that rotation to drive the body through, then I get even more, because now my body weight, and not half of my body weight, is driving into the target. Now again, if this starts creating some stress on your hand, get some wraps, get a glove, and of course always make sure you're striking with the proper surface and that you have a good structure here, no bends, nothing, anything crazy like this. All right, now of course I could be using a heavy bag or just a bag attached to the wall. Now, again, what else can I add? Well, I like to accelerate forward, not just by the rotation, but by this. That can happen one of two different ways. I have a little bit of just give, just by the simple movement of one side to the other with my body. But listen, that is something, right? If I'm right here and I go, okay, I can push Bob just with that energy, that alone from that. So, rotating like a hinge, hip, shoulder, everything is this. Then add this. Now, yes, there is some timing. You know, when we teach advancing punches, we don't say advance and then throw the strike. No, you want to time it to where all the momentum from that advance adds to your power, okay? So, simply, these are the things I'm doing. Yes, I'm extending. Yes, I'm rotating the shoulder. Yes, I'm rotating the hips. And yes, I'm using what I have here to create my entire body weight driving forward. This. Okay. Now, how can I do even more? Actually taking my body weight and moving it. So I'm going to take this foot, the front foot, whether I'm throwing a left or a right, it's that front foot that's going to drive forward and create an avenue of weight and power. So often we may refer to these as like a V-step because we're often doing it off to the side to increase our power. But if it's a jab, I may be actually moving straight in towards him. But for now, I'll continue with this cross. So I'm not actually moving straight into him and getting scrunched up here. I'm kind of going slightly towards 10 or 11 o'clock, boom, and going off angle, but it's my entire body moving. So I'm adding that much more. So therefore, when I do all of that, this is called kinetic energy. I am connected to the ground. This connection and the energy of my body is driving everything forward. Everything. Not just the arm, not just the upper body, but everything. All right, so we have said that I want all energy going this way. Now, when I say this way, I'm not saying necessarily forward, because I can actually create some power by going past the target and even driving slightly to the side. I can do that, or at least do that so that my follow through is so much further than simply what I might be able to do by stepping in towards the target. So let me just reiterate. I'm not stepping at the target and then throwing the strike. I am timing it to where all of this works together, okay? Now, notice that I'm not actually even moving that fast. That is perfectly okay. I don't have to go that fast to create this kind of energy. And then, when I can do it slow, I know that when I do it fast, it will be even stronger. Okay, so kinetic energy, the ball of this foot is attached to the ground, sending everything forward. Okay, so here I go. Okay, those same principles apply to kicks as well, and we'll cover that at some other time. Kinetic energy, driving forward, entire body weight going into my strikes. Go drill it.